Okay, so this is part two of Monday Morning Quarterback, hosted by Adams Rib, Anjanette Potter, also known as Adams Rib. So I had to make a little bit of a. I usually try to make sure that stuff is handled before I come on the air, but ever so often, um, you know, a woman got to do what a woman got to do. So I was talking about the whole Supreme Court abortion ruling. Um, as a Black woman, like I said, there's always the issue of intersect. So I talked about this before. There was this Indian American guy who hosted this, who was on air discussing the whole, the whole, the whole #1 Capitol riots, but also the whole thing. I think it's very interesting that the men who want to curb their penises the least want to holler about being pro-life. Okay, how about pro-life of the mother? These are also the men that don't want women to have the right to say no to sex inside of marriage. These are the same men who fought to keep marital rape not being a crime, that fought the whole marital rape issue and did not want it to be made a crime. So when I say any rights that you have that came at the end of a picket sign, I mean what I'm saying. I believe in the rights of the unborn, but I also believe in the rights of the people who have to carry them. Okay? Like I said before, I just left a situation that entailed forced marriage, which is part of human trafficking. Forced prostitution, which is also a crime. Both are a crime. A church that believes in what they call corrective rape, which is also a hate crime. God isn't using rape to correct lesbians. So many of the religious groups that are on this pro-right stance, pro-life stance, are also very anti women's rights to say no to any type of unwanted sex. Okay? Very, very anti. They don't want you to be able to say no to sex, and very pro, and many of them, like the Warren Jeffs, because like I said before, many of the polygamists, FDLS, are very, very far right. Okay? They're also very anti. There's a whole lot of anti women's rights, and there's also a very hard line anti Black women's rights. If they already don't believe in white women having any type of rights to stand up and to protect themselves from patriarchal, abusive teachings, they definitely don't want to see Black women or women of color with any rights that are going to protect them from that same behavior. Okay, because when you're talking about racial politics, like I said before, with the whole history of rock and roll, a lot of the terms have to do with Black sexuality. Now, so you also see that there has been quite a bit of hypersexualizing Black people, which is a time-honored tradition in the United States. So, like I said, if you have any rights that came at the end of a picket sign, you need to really look at this whole Roe v. Wade thing. Like I said, as a Black Christian, do I believe in abortion? I don't. I wish there were other ways for women to deal with the whole issue of an unplanned pregnancy. I hate to say unwanted, because many pregnancies, my 2 children that I have now, were unplanned, but they were not unwanted. Okay. Once I grappled with how I was going to handle either of my pregnancies, they were very much wanted. And I did everything I could to make them, to translate that wanting onto them once they entered the world by way of me giving birth. I think it's very important for every child to feel wanted. Once you decide to have them, then you have a duty as a parent to let them know that they're wanted, to let them know that they're a blessing, to let them know, because what you don't do within your home makes your children vulnerable to everything else that's out there that's waiting to prey on them. Period. So it's something to think about, including cults. Okay, so a lot of what you're hearing in the way of pro-lifeness isn't really pro-lifeness. Some of these people have some very dangerous beliefs that are very dangerous to women. So I have a problem with people who are pro-life but not woman-centered. The one place that I volunteered with taught us how to be woman-centered. Basically, not to be one of these talk is cheap type pro-lifers. I can tell you all day long that abortion is murder, but if you are in a situation where you don't see no way out, one of the things that I can say is when I was doing that type of work, I was able to help most people and couples, if the people were still together, see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I tell people all the time that both times that I got pregnant, it was the least time in the world for me to ever want to ever have a baby. I was just like, oh God, what in the world? And now this. Okay, but by the time that 9 months was up, my end was better than my beginning. I wound up being incredibly blessed. And, the 9 months that they're in vitro, they're inside you. And so you have 9 months to kind of get it together if you're going to decide you're going to carry a child. Now, let me say this. I also had a choice in the matter. So it's a whole lot different when you make the choice to have them and decide to raise them. Okay? And a lot of people are, robbing you of that choice. It's a different story when you decide on your own and you are willing to have them. That it scares me that there are going to be women who, like I said before, they don't want to have them. So if you're going to outlaw it, then you need to have things in place that make it a whole lot easier for the woman who decides to carry to term. You also need to make it easier for those who decide because I had already said before, there was a pastor who I felt like had plans to try to rape me. And I've said if that pastor had succeeded, that I would have had an abortion. I would have had to go against belief, because I also know how many abusers and crazy men are when they think that you're carrying someone that belongs to them. You can't get rid of them. Many men, people talk about women using babies, but many men use babies to hang on to women too. And I didn't want nothing coming. I didn't want to give birth to nothing that even remotely resembled this man. I didn't want this man having any ties to me at all. Okay? That's strong language, but that's how I felt about that person. Now, there are a lot of people, well, you would make an innocent baby pay. Well, me giving birth to a child from him would also be making an innocent baby pay. Okay? And he and his wife were not the nicest couple in the world. So thinking about making an innocent baby pay, what if the child looked like me? Because I can sit over here, you could sit over here and go, well, you could have let him and his wife take and raise it. This is true. But what if the child looks like me and she already was abusing me under their church covering? She wouldn't treat me right. Okay, so now I got to sit over here and worry about a child that I gave birth to being in a home that might be abusive. So like I said before, see past all of the crying and the, oh my God, and the unborn, and this, that, and the other. Look at how some of these people really believe. Look at their real beliefs. See past all the tears. See past all of the nonsense. Okay? See past all of the rights of the unborn, but yet you didn't want women to be able to say no to sex, not even married. Okay, you protested making marital rape a crime because you felt like it infringed on men's rights to unfettered access to women. Okay, so yeah, I'm not trying to hear you. Okay, you can take that racist gobbledygook and shove it somewhere, because I'm really not even trying to hear all of that. You have to get to the root of what people really believe about your demographic. Okay? And I should say sexist mess as well. Okay? No one ever wants to think about how women feel. So this week I promise this week, and I'm going to deliver on that promise, that I will have a couple extra podcasts. I'm gonna get back on my horse with the podcasting, and stay on my horse with the podcasting, so that I can get this content out here to you guys. So we can discuss the Elvis movie. So we can discuss all of the other stuff that I plan on discussing to close out the month of Juneteenth. Have a happy Black Music Appreciation Month. Enjoy the rest of Juneteenth. For me, even though I know we now have a date that we can celebrate it on, I still like the thought of celebrating a whole month of it. That's how precious it is to me. So I'm also going to be doing I will be going live to celebrate the 4th. And I will be doing cookout music. I'll be putting together a cookout playlist for us, for all my listeners, because my fan base is pretty ethnically diverse. But at the root of it, I'm Black. And I'm not divesting from the Black community. So I always have to remember my ethnicity first, because it's really, if you really want to heal the Black community, as Kevin Samuels fake behind said he was doing, that he really wasn't doing. I don't see how you call yourself healing the Black community if you are at odds with major sources of the Black community, and that's Black women. How can you teach Black men not to like Black women, be at odds with Black women, and say you're healing anything? So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Enjoy your week and be blessed. Stay Black. Don't nobody divest. Okay? Don't listen to anybody who tries to tell you that somebody other than a Black person is going to be the best mate for you. Now, I'm not saying don't interracially date. I don't have a problem with you expanding your horizons. Okay, I really don't. I'm a big proponent of black love, but don't let nobody tell you that black love is a myth. It's not. At the same time, don't let nobody limit you either. Be open to objective opinions about the opposite sex of the ethnicity that you belong to. Okay, there's nothing wrong with admitting that not all black men are nice people. Well, not all black women are either, and I ain't said they were. But right now I'm talking about black men because that's who I date. I don't date black women. So, but you guys have a good one. Enjoy your day. And I will see you Friday. I will see you this Friday at noon and this Friday night. Have a good one.